This is our AimFlex 2 controller. Currently we have it pushed to the Pro 1200, so we can leave our map up on our Viper 4. We are on run 1, and we've select rate control module, which is our AimFlex 2, so it's got the little spray tips on it. Now, starting in the top left corner, gallons per acre, what are we spraying? The little gauge underneath will tell us what our actual is with the little number at the bottom. The little green zone is our happy zone. And we have 3 presets that we can pre-program in there, or we can actually tap on the rate itself and enter a rate in there and take ourselves to 4 gallons. Or we can go back to our presets. On the right side is our pressure settings. And again, the gauge with the actual as well as our presets to show what we're doing there. And to adjust it, same way. Tap the presets or tap the main number to change it. If we want to change what those presets are, we can hit this rate setup. So here's our rate, preset 1, 2, 3. We always want to make sure display smoothing is turned on. And if we hit pressures, we can go in and change the pressure presets. 20, 40, 60, we could change that to 30, 45, 55, or whatever we wanted to do. Check mark takes us back to our home screen. The button in the middle is auto or manual mode. We normally want to spray in auto mode. Manual might be used for some troubleshooting or some manual clean out or something. If the manual button is pushed, you will see we no longer have a rate. We have a control valve number and a NCV duty cycle. So lots of times we get phone calls where that is looking weird to guys, and all we got to do is turn it to auto mode to get it back to what we want. This button in the middle is what turns our pump on. Red is off. We can also turn the pump on over here. And there's also a button down on our lower right-hand console, and there's probably going to be a button on the run screen of your Viper 4. So lots of ways to turn your pump on. This yellow and green bar at the bottom with some little numbers underneath is our essentially a tip chart or a driving guide. There's a small red line on the left side because we're not moving right now. But they're saying for the tip selected at 5 gallons and 40 PSI, our driving zone is 7.5 to 21.6 miles an hour. If we change our rate, so this is obviously 10 gallons is too big for this tip, because you can see we are now at 3.8 to 10.8 miles an hour. So yes, we can still do it, but our range is quite small. The other thing you will see is if we change our pressure, it also changes that. It's just where we can get the correct droplets and maintain out of that tip. So rather than pulling out the tip guide, this is a quick reference to show you if you're out driving your tips or where you are running. Ground speed in the middle, pretty straightforward. We have an acre counter. These bottom 3 can be customized in the display. This particular unit has a Raven Recirc kit on it. So by clicking on the Raven Recirc button, if our pump was running and our machine was running, that would turn green and it would start flushing product through the booms back to the tank in a round cycle. So charging your booms up or for cleaning, that's a great feature. Tank level is shown in the middle here. Currently we're empty. Depending on the year of your sprayer, you're either going to have 5 big sections or 7. The newer ones with the new boom recirculation, they've dropped 2 sections off, which isn't that big of a deal because if we're running Aim Flex, we are actually running nozzle by nozzle, so we would have 72 or 82 sections depending on how big a boom we have. The bottom of the screen, we have our master on or off. So if we're turning our master button on, that'll turn green to tell us when we're spraying. Flow offset. If we click on that, by clicking on this button that shows the 3 nozzles on the end, I believe it's actually 8 nozzles, will actually run based on this flow offset. So right now it's set to run 25% more rate out of the 8 nozzles on the left side. So if you want to clean up a dirty fence edge or something like that, you could pump some more chemical on. You could also do the right side, or you can bump up your wheel tracks, wheels out or wheels in. and you can customize whatever offset number you want in there. We can also do some custom offsets where maybe we only want to do the outside 2 or 3 nozzles or something like that. Relieve pressure. So if our booms were pressured up right now and we have to go and change the nozzle body or something like that, we could actually hit relieve pressure. Tells us to turn the master on, and it'll open up all the NCVs and all the boom valves and bleed the pressure off before we go in there and crack something open. Now, if we arrow to the right, we have tank volume, our speed range, our rate, our pressure, just some quick icons to see. But you'll notice at the bottom, we now have the ability to select tip. So we need to tell this unit what size tip we're running. So right now we have a red 04 pointed down, and that is what's selected. If I tap on that and I go to a 10 gallon tip, now I have the blue 10s down. I have to go outside and turn all my 4 or 5 ways so that my blue 10 is down. Put that back on 04. So remember, if you're changing tips, you have to change it in here as well. Now, we do have some fancier features that you can look up in the book where you can name the tip, and you can actually take out your tip chart and you can put in your pressure range 1 for your droplet size with the min and max pressures. So if you have 2 or 3 tips on your machine, you could take a few minutes before the season and pre-program those in there. And once you do that, then over here above tip, it'll actually tell you as you're spraying and changing your pressures whether you're running coarse, medium, or fine based on those numbers. We arrow across again. We got 2 pressure gauges, duplicate. We take those off and we're back to where we began. On the right side, we have the 2 gears, the setup gears. That's also another way to get into select our tip. We can set our test speed from here, NCV control mode, bypass, standard, on-off, VP, high flow VP. 99% of the time, you're going to be in standard mode, which is your aim mode, aim flex mode. Bypass would be bypassing the NCVs. You'd have to open up all the little taps on each nozzle body and run conventional spraying. Possibly if the aim system goes down and you have to spray, you could run bypass mode. Or if you're doing liquid fertilizer, that's probably a good choice to run bypass as well. As for the other more in-depth modes, not many guys really use that. If you're interested in those, have a look in the book or give us a call and we can work with you on those. If we go into our wrench and screwdriver, we can get into some of our setup items. So display setup. At the bottom, we can go in and customize these readouts. So the first one was set to recommended speed. Second one was set to speed. Third one was set to acres, and maybe we want sparge in there instead. We could go in there and we could select sparge pressure for that reading. So now when we go back to our home screen, we have sparge on that run screen.